you do, fellow kids? I have the Marvel's Quake, actually, the reason I bought this was not for Quake. I bought this for the alternate use for this body is for Maria Hill. So I think this is kind of an economical move on Hasbro's part. They've released one figure with two different heads, so it could be either one of the characters. Obviously, people could buy two of them if they wanted to have both characters. I'm actually more interested in Maria Hill than Quake. When I saw this come up, I decided I bought it, and I pre-ordered it, and then it wasn't until earlier today that I thought about it, because my sweet spot for Marvel Legends figures are the ones from the comic books between 1985 and 1995. To be a little more liberal with that definition, I would go from 1980 to 2000, and I didn't even think about what when I never really thought about. I don't remember Maria Hill in the comic books, but I obviously from the movies, and I've read comic books, more modern comic books with Maria Hill. It's more about like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that, than this look. I have two S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that I bought in the 2-pack about a year ago, and I decided I wanted to get Maria Hill to go along with them. I don't know much about Quake except for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Show that was on TV, I thought that show was pretty good. The first few seasons, I enjoyed it. It got a little bit ridiculous, and I don't even think I ended up watching the final season. But yeah, I mean, I think they did what they, I think they did what they had to do to kind of keep the show going and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't really, I really thought it was kind of funny how they took the main character who was just supposed to be like I don't even know if she was someone from any comic books. I'm blanking on Chloe, whatever her name was, the actress on that show. She, her original character she was a hacker that was recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D. and all this stuff. And then she found out that her real name was Daisy, and then she developed the Quake powers, and so she was a superhero. Which was kind of it was kind of an interesting twist at first, but then after a while, it was just kind of like, it would have been more interesting if they kind of kept this show as more of a spy show. Anyway, so I'll keep on my rant. The other thing is that they had introduced Adrian Padalecki. I can't remember. They introduced that actress's character, who was the same, is the same character as Mockingbird. They never called her Mockingbird, or she never became Mockingbird, or something like that, which I thought was an odd choice. Anyway, yeah. So to end my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. rant, I do like these guys as kind of background characters. I like kind of the look of them as a squad. So anyway, I'm going to take this out of the package, and we'll take a look. All right, now I've got Maria out of the package. She looks really cool. I really like the look of this figure. She's not high on details, but I think that works for the comic book look. The one big gripe that I have is that she doesn't have a holster or anything to hold her weapon. Um, I plan to kind of have her uh, like this anyway, with her pistol drawn. But it would have been nice to have that holster, to either store the weapon, have different, have a different option as far as displaying her. Here is her Quake, her Daisy Quake head, and then so the way to modify the hands is that you remove the two silver hands and the gauntlets slide right off, and then underneath you've got kind of the white gloves for her director Maria Hill look. And then I got this 2-pack of shield agents. I kind of like, they came with a variety of heads and a couple of different helmets. Oops, that's not going to work. That's right in their face. Let me swap these guys right here. These guys look pretty good all together. I do like having one guy with a helmeted head, one guy with one of the non-helmeted heads. He also came with a couple of different heads. I think one was more Latino looking and the other one was more Asian looking. I'd love to take those heads and pop them onto some GI Joe bodies and make some extra make some extra GI Joes. And these guys came with holsters. They have a sidearm that's holstered on their leg, and obviously very, very simple action figures. I see smaller companies come, they have these, musculature action figure bodies. Sometimes they're just flesh colors. Sometimes they come in a variety of colors. But I would love to see a company that does it, and instead of like bare feet, do like a booted foot, and then people can customize them, to be your superheroes or soldiers or something like that. But usually, I mean, unless you're a really talented sculptor or something, or you can do something to modify the feet to make them look like they're not barefoot. Bare hands can be painted to look like gloves, but you can't paint bare feet so that they look like anything other than feet. So that's my rant about that. Anyway, love these guys. I missed out on the comic version of Nick Fury that came out a few years ago. So yeah, I hope they re-release Nick Fury, because I'd love to add Nick Fury to my group of my squad of Shield agents. The other thing that I'll note about this about the Maria Hill action figure is the Build-A-Figure is the controller. I did realize that I had, that he was on, he was kind of included in the late 80s or early 90s Armor Wars. I think it started in the late 80s. I had a few of the Iron Man comic books where that kind of started. And so it's making me think. I've never done a Build-A-Figure before. I've always just kind of pick and choose my way through Marvel Legends, and now I'm thinking, hey, let me, maybe I'll get this whole wave, and do, build the figure. I do recognize that this figure has a lot of parts reuse from Thanos. The Thanos, the deluxe Thanos that I got not too long ago, and so yeah, I'm looking at Thanos and looking at this. I think this arm, the gloves are different, because obviously this isn't the Infinity Gauntlet. Even the Thanos with no stones on his Infinity Gauntlet has little raised spots for his Infinity Gauntlet. But here, the top of the glove, the rest of the arm, I'm pretty sure is the exact same sculpt as Thanos. But hey, I love me a big bulky bad guy to square off with my heroes. So I decided this is going to be a bonus, a bonus action figure review. I have this this Walmart exclusive Black Widow that I got not too long ago. I actually think that she's more of a '90s look for Black Widow than classic, but I still like this this version. She's got a cool jetpack, some blast effects. She's got blast effects in her. So she's got changeable Widow's Bite or Widow's Kiss. What is it called? The little gauntlets she wears. She's got some blast effects ones. She's got some smoking ones. She's got a couple alternate hands. So not a bad figure. I got this at the last Walmart Collector Con or whatever they call their their push for for action figures and collectibles and stuff like that. It came in true Walmart fashion, crumpled up in a bag. But I did get this. I think I got it for almost like 50% off. Because I went on there, I bought a retro Spider-Man and a lizard, and this popped up as like a, hey, you know what? You could also buy this if you wanted, and I thought, yeah, why not? So yeah, that wasn't a bad deal. I do like this figure. It wasn't really on the top of my list as far as things to get, but I am glad that I got it, and I think it goes good with my my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I'm gonna add her to this video. All right, I've got my Natasha Romanoff Black Widow. I did look up kind of what era this look was from, and it's actually right in my wheelhouse. This is late 80s, early 90s. It may have extended past that. I think the earliest I saw this was 1984. So yeah, basically, if I was going to pick up a comic book, 1989 Acts of Vengeance comic book with Black Widow on the cover, this is what she would look like. Kind of wanted to kind of vary up her gauntlet game here. So I've got her with with one of the firing gauntlets and one smoking. So she's shot off one of her cartridges, and she's in firing the second one. So let's get her in here with her backup, with director Maria Hill, and some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Let's see if I can get them in the shot here. Get a good squad going. Yeah, I would love to add Nick Fury to this. This guy doesn't seem to want to stand up. So let's see here. But yeah, there we go. We got the Black Widow and Maria Hill and our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So yeah, I love these comic book looks. I definitely I've said this over and over again. Compared to Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified is so detailed and so so textured and it's mind-blowingly like good quality. But I don't hate these Marvel Legends. I think they look great. Because they're smoother, they're more comic book. They're and then to contrast that with the movie figures, some of the movie figures I think are just way off the mark, and that's one of the reasons why I don't Um, I don't buy the movie figures. I just have much more fun with the comic book figures than I do with the movie figures. You know, how many of Chris Hemsworth looks do I need? You know, for my shelf. I mean, um, granted, I love Thor. I love Chris Hemsworth's version of the character. You know, I'll definitely continue going to see those movies, but at the same time, you know, the toys don't mean as much to me as these, you know, these comic book characters do. I really think you know, they do a great job of bringing to life that comic book look. So so what do you think? Do you think you know, do you like these figures? Did you pick these up? Are you collecting the controller wave? Are you more into the comic book figures than you are into the movie figures, or vice versa? Yeah, so you know, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like my review, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you on the next one.